So you'll notice that this video is actually not starting off in Paralives, but is instead in Microsoft Paint with a screenshot of what I did in the last video in Paralives. And if you missed that video, I went and I started the process of building my own custom world. I created the terrain from scratch and I planned out the roads. And now I'm going into Microsoft Paint and I am doing the city planning. If you did want to see that first video, I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in seeing that process. But as for this video, we're kind of focusing more on the city planning aspect and then kind of the overall landscaping, essentially just taking the steps to then start building the buildings. So you can see I'm drawing a bunch of squares right now. The red represents community lots. You can see I kind of am dabbling with an orange square or two, and that was supposed to be kind of like a mixed use, like community lot and residential. I was thinking maybe like a business with an apartment on top, but I just kind of scrapped that. I think I'll have those, but they're just gonna be red squares like community lots. The blue is going to be houses, and then the yellow squares are going to be parks. And this is really just kind of a like estimate or guess of where everything is going to be. It's really just a rough draft. It's very subject to change. In fact, I have a list of all the lots I want to make, and after I finished doing these kind of blueprints, I realized there was stuff I wanted to add. So there will be more coming in this island, especially in this downtown area. But for now, this is kind of just an estimate and a guess of where I want everything to go. It really helped with me actually like planning out and editing the perimeters of the lots, which you'll see in a minute once I'm done on Microsoft Paint. And yeah, I'm happy I did it, but it's definitely going to change given how things kind of go. So you'll notice that right now I'm really working on planning out the downtown area of our island, and I want to fit as many community lot types as I can here because I want there to be things for your Paris to do, and there's like a reason to come to the downtown area. I mentioned this in my last video, but this island I'm making is kind of inspired by New England, like northeastern USA, Nova Scotia, around that area. And I kind of, as a result, I don't want to make this like a big city or anything. I kind of want to make it like a cozy tourist town in a sense. I imagine that people would come and visit here and kind of see all of the stuff that this place has to offer. And I've actually come up with a name for this island since my last video, and it's kind of based on a bit of lore that I want this island to have. So essentially, I was kind of thinking that people first came to this island and they discovered a long time ago that it is very rich in minerals, specifically in garnet, which is a mineral you can actually collect and find in Paralives. And so as a result, the town is called Garnet Hollow, and I think it's cool. I like it, and I'm excited that kind of an element of the game is being used as the name for the island. I'll have to think of some ways to kind of incorporate that bit of lore into the game. I definitely am going to put a lot of the garnet mineral around the town for your Paris to collect, but I also think somewhere I want to put in kind of an abandoned cave or mine where people will probably once mine for the minerals. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to do that yet. I'm thinking maybe towards the beach on the very back of the island, in that sort of mountainous area, but I haven't quite decided. And I also need to figure out how I would go about making a cave because the terrain tools aren't super straightforward when it comes to like building a hole like into a place of terrain already. I don't even know if it's possible, but I'll have to play around with it and find out, and I'll get back to you on it. But yeah, right now you can see that I am just going in and I'm essentially copying the boundaries that I created in Microsoft Paint into the actual island itself to create different lots. And this video is sped up because I feel like this is just kind of an amalgamation of different tasks that I need to do in order to set up and get everything ready for building. And so because of that, I decided to speed it up as opposed to me just like playing and commentating over it like I kind of had in my last video. Whenever it comes to like the buildings, do you guys prefer it whenever I just kind of do a speed build and then talk over it like this? Or is it nicer to have me kind of commentating and talking while I build and then me just kind of like splicing that together? While I was creating the boundaries for these lots, I actually kind of struggled a bit to get the lines and everything exactly how I wanted them to be and to get everything so that it actually registered as a full-on lot perimeter. So I found it like really difficult with the fact that whenever you're tracing out the perimeter, they are white lines, and then the grid that you're basing your placements on are also white lines. And so I found it just a little bit challenging to get everything exactly how I wanted it. And I actually still think I need to go in and refine some now, because at the end of this video, I kind of like zoomed out like off camera, and I noticed that not every single lot that I had kind of designated is actually registering as a lot that my para can purchase. So I'll need to figure that out. And then another thing I also need to figure out before the next video is kind of how I'm going to go about building the lots. And what I mean by that is, well, because right now I'm using the toggle edit town cheat to really do everything on this island, but I'm not sure if I should continue to do that for the building, or if I should have a pair there that buys all the lots, and then as the lots are bought, I just go ahead and I furnish and build all those, and then afterwards I sell it. I've heard some people say that using toggle edit town to build and furnish everything gets kind of glitchy, so I may do the purchasing and selling method, but then I'm also worried about like selling it and making sure it's a functional lot again. I'll need to figure that out. And then I also need to go in and I need to designate lot types and make them what I intend to be. And I don't think I'm going to be doing this all at once. I think I'm going to be kind of doing it as I build the lots. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not 100% sure what I want every single lot to be yet. I know a decent amount of the lots are going to be like, oh, homes or certain community lots, but I don't know 100% what everything is going to be, and so I don't want to kind of go into the game code and designate all that just to then change my mind, because it just seems like a lot of work to go in and change. And so I think if I do it as I build, it will just be an easier process for me overall. You'll notice now that I'm going in and I'm drawing the lot boundaries for some of the residential lots that are going to be more towards the top of the mountain. And I actually had to finagle and change some of the terrain that I created in the last video along with the roads. I went and I really made sure that the roads looked a bit more uniform, the painted asphalt ones I did, because they weren't exactly straight, if that makes sense, and I wanted them to be kind of uniform. And especially towards this area that I'm working on right here with the circle that I kind of used as a cul-de-sac, it didn't look good. I didn't think I was going to get it to look good, so I instead got rid of that and I just made it a dead end to the street. I think once the houses are up there and I get some landscaping in, it will start to look a bit better, but for now we're just in the planning stage. I'm gonna just have it like this and I'm going to see how it goes. Same with the actual lots themselves. I'm hoping that they're not too small and that I can fit houses on them. I did go and I tried to place rooms as like a blueprint of sorts, just to kind of see exactly what the scale of what I was building was and if it would be realistic to put a family home on there. And I think it's gonna go okay. I think I'll be able to fit everything I need to, but I think it's also just gonna be one of those things where I won't know for sure until I really start putting things in. Although if it is a bit on the smaller side, I feel like I'd rather have it be like that as opposed to me just having all of this space, because I would like it to look kind of cozy in a sense, and like a lot of people are living here and that this is a very populous and alive island, if that makes sense. And I think that having lots close together would be pretty conducive to that. I think the exception to that will probably be here at the top of the mountain, which you can see I'm kind of determining the lot parameters for right now. I was kind of thinking that these would be nicer houses at the top, and someone in the comments actually suggested that as well, almost as if it's like a destination place to live, and I really like that idea. I want the mountain area to kind of be almost like forested. I would think that the further up the mountain you go, the nicer the houses are, and so I think because of that, the houses at the top should be a bit more spread out, should have lots that are a little bit bigger. So I'm excited to see how that kind of ends up taking shape as we keep building this mountain. I'm also thinking of putting a park at the back too. You'll notice that there is a pretty big beach on the mountains. Like if you go down, like you look down from the cliffs, there's a beach there. It's currently inaccessible, but I want to see if there's a way that I can put stairs to get down there. And I would think that maybe it's not necessarily like a private beach, but it's some place where people would come visit, and I would imagine a lot of like the richer Paris, because they live closer to that park, would hang out there a lot, if that makes sense. So I was looking through and I read and replied to all the comments on the first part of this series as well, and it was just super cool to see that people are interested in this island as well as just like playing the game like this in general. I feel like there's not really a whole lot out there right now on how to create your own world and customize everything on Paralives. There's a little bit of stuff on YouTube, and it's been super cool and inspiring to see other creators and their takes on different worlds, but it's just a unique way to play the game, because technically this isn't like really an intended feature in the game yet. This is kind of just everyone figuring out how to do this on their own in hopes that one day this will end up making it into the game. One of the comments said that even though this game is still in early access, people are playing like 3 different games at this point, which I thought was really funny and also really true, especially given that this game has only been out for a month at this point, and people have been super creative and have found such good ways to like do things. I've seen like a lot of people just playing with, you know, the traditional life sim aspect of it, and have created like really fun challenges to do. I've seen others use it like for like build simulations and have created like really cool builds with it. And then I mean, there's what I'm doing here with kind of creating the world and kind of using things that aren't really meant to be used in that way in the game to kind of do it, which has been really fun to figure out and really cool to see how other people have been kind of doing that as well. Everyone's so creative, and it's really fun to kind of watch all of that, and I had a lot of fun doing this so far, and I'm excited to see what they add with the game still in early access, because I mean, this is just like the beginning, you know. I think the creators said that it's 2 years that the game is at least scheduled to be in early access. Could very well be longer, who knows, but I mean, that's a lot of time and there's a lot of features to add, so I'm really excited to see what the game looks like when it's like officially out, because I think it's fun just as is. I mean, I think there's definitely some things missing from it, but I'm still having a lot of fun, and so I'm just excited to see what kind of happens with it as more stuff and more features keep coming out. People were also mentioning kind of like wish list items for this kind of section of the game. One person was saying that we can hopefully get like a proper water tool and have like swimmable water, and then maybe like real roads, like a road tool and cars and all of that. And I would love all of those items so much, because right now, I mean, we can get by with what we have right now, but I really feel like adding some of those more quality of life features, such as a water tool or a road tool, or things that like, you know, make the game more functional. I think that would really make a big difference in the creation of just the enjoyment that I have in the game in general. Someone also mentioned that they wish there were like square terrain paint tools, and oh my gosh, I couldn't agree with that more, because I had to finagle with the terrain paint so much in this video just to get the roads kind of how I wanted them to be, whereas if there was just a square option, it would have taken so much less time. And I'm sure someone could probably come out with a mod for that. It's probably not super hard to just kind of change the footprint of the tool that's used, but it'd be really nice if that was just in the game. Another thing is that in my last video, one of my talking points was that I wish you could do more than just an island, because whenever you do load into a simple edit terrain world, there's kind of just void around the terrain space, and then from there you kind of have to fill it with water. But apparently you don't have to just fill it with water, because someone mentioned in the comments that there is an object in debug that has like mountains and a train station, like train railroad or something like that, and I didn't know that existed. And so I went into debug and I looked it up, and what do you know, it's there. And so you could have your world, and then you could just kind of place this object as like set dressing in the background, and then boom, your city is not like an island. It can be like an actual like part of a landmass, which is super cool, and I didn't realize that was something you could do. But I guess you just have to kind of explore the debug menu to find that. So that's another option, and it's not something that I realized that was even in the game. And so that's just another example of people finding really cool stuff that you can do. And I'm sure that there's so much more about this that I don't know, but I'm really excited to learn about it as I keep building and developing this town. And speaking about the development of this town, I've been talking over a decent amount of it, so I should probably kind of let you all know what I've been doing as I've been yapping. So you'll notice that I place streetlights everywhere, and I also went and I placed stop signs as well in the intersections. And since I have like real roads here, even though cars don't exist in the game as of right now, I'm thinking of getting a mod for them just to like kind of place them as objects so the island feels a bit more alive. But regardless, because I have these roads in, there needs to be like proper traffic management, and so I put those in the intersections. I've also gone ahead and I've placed some trees, and I've started the landscaping as well. And you'll notice I'm kind of putting in these small little bus stop kind of like checkpoint areas, if that makes sense. So in the last video when I was creating the roads, there is like the normal road piece, and then there's the intersection piece. And the intersection piece doesn't necessarily line up with the road exactly. So in order to get it to fit, you have to use the advanced toggle setting, and you have to drag out the object and stretch it to make it bigger. But the thing is that when you do that, it also makes the sidewalk on the sides bigger as a result. And so it's kind of creating like this weird overhang. And originally I wasn't sure on how I was going to tackle this, but then it was suggested to me that I could use it as like an area for a bus stop or benches, or just like overall like just cool things, or maybe an entrance to a beach. So that's exactly what I did. You'll see earlier that I kind of created a bus stop on one of them, and I put a bench, and this one right here I'm putting a phone booth. I also put some lookout towers because the beach is right there, and I feel like it would make sense in order for people to, you know, really look at this and kind of, you know, just admire the view. So I put that there, and then there's one in the middle in between this like phone booth and bus stop area. And later on in the video, I actually put a bridge that goes out to the beach, and I'll show you what I mean there. I think it turned out pretty cool. But at first I was really annoyed by this feature, but by the end I actually really like it, and I feel like it brings a lot of character into the downtown area itself. Currently, I'm going in and I'm placing these columns under those little areas, and the reason for this is because whenever you look at it from the beach side, it is technically floating, and I don't like that because it doesn't make sense. And so in order to kind of stop that, I originally was placing walls under the little platforms to make it look like the road was connected to the ground. But then when I went in with the fences afterwards, it got rid of the walls. And so then there was still that problem of kind of having a floating piece of concrete between the grass and the road. And so in order to fix that, I used those columns, and I just used like the advanced toggle tool to go in and kind of size it so that it was the size of the area that it was meant to be supporting. But oh my gosh, these objects kept deleting themselves so much, so frequently. I think at some point I kind of give up on them. But you can see I've already gone in and I've like replaced everything twice. I do it again, I think later in the video. I've had to do it multiple times. So I think it's a really cool idea in theory, and I think I may go back in and like fully do it at some point, but it was a little hard with how much I had to delete things right now. And you can see right now I'm going in, and I originally put gravel in the kind of commercial lot areas to kind of signify that that's kind of what that was going to be. But then I found these bricks in the terrain paint selection, and I thought they looked better, and so I replaced it with that. And that's definitely one of the places where you can see I kind of struggled with getting very fine, detailed lines with the terrain paint, and where I think that having square terrain paint tools would be a really big game changer. If there's a mod like that that's already out there, or if someone wants to make that, that would be absolutely awesome. I guess in theory I could try and make it, but I've also never done that. So I probably won't. But I don't know, I guess, people do say like be the change you want to see. So maybe I will. But probably not, because I have no modding experience. Anyways, back to what I'm doing right now. So I am doing a little bit of the landscaping in the forested area of this island. I didn't do a whole lot, again, because there's going to be houses here and I don't quite know how that's going to fit with the landscaping just in general. So I just did these kind of 2 little bits right here that I know aren't going to have property near it or right by it. And so I need to fill it with something, and I think trees would be a great start for this. And another thing with terrain paint is that you can terrain paint like textured grass and fields and stuff, if that makes sense. And so I thought that was super cool. So I went and I kind of put like this short grass everywhere, and then in areas where I had actual landscaping, I would kind of mix in some taller grass and then some wildflowers, and I think it has like a really cool look to it. In general, I've been pretty impressed with how easy the landscaping is for me in this game. I like how I can easily resize objects. I can change the colors of flowers and stuff to really create the ultimate bush I want. I can rearrange the orientation of rocks to get them to lay exactly how I want them to, which you can see I just did. And I can use the terrain paints to make something look a little bit more overgrown than it normally would be, which I feel like in other building games is a bit hard to do. And you'll notice now I'm kind of going in and I'm playing around with the water again. And the reason why is because I wanted to do something with this lake to make it just a little bit more interesting to look at. And so I decided to create a waterfall in here. And the way I did that was I took the town water debug item that I used to make up the ocean outside of the island, and I sized it down significantly and I put it on a vertical orientation. I was kind of originally looking for a fountain shaped object that would kind of serve as running water almost to signify that water is kind of falling, but I couldn't find that in the game, and so this was the best alternative I had. And so I then placed some rocks around it to just make it look a little bit more natural, along with some plants to make it just look kind of nice. But I kind of ran into an issue with this where every single time I quit the game and then I reloaded back into this save, the waterfall disappeared. And so because of that, I don't think that I'm going to keep it, unfortunately, because it doesn't make sense to just keep placing it every single time I go in the game, and which I don't really love. I think instead I'm going to kind of create little like sub platform or kind of platforms where this mountainous terrain is here. You can see I'm kind of doing one right now, and I'm just placing some landscaping on top of it. I think I just might do 1 or 2 more of those kind of around there just to give this wall of rock like something, because before I placed the waterfall there was just nothing going on and it was boring, and I didn't like that. You'll also notice that in the lake I went and I put some rocks kind of floating in the lake itself, and I put these weeds around it, and I wanted those to act as lily pads in the water, which is also something we don't currently have in the game right now. But if you look at it close, or if you look at it enough, it does kind of look like it, as opposed to me just taking a normal plant and putting it on top of the water. It does kind of look like a lily pad, and it's the closest thing we're kind of getting to it, so I'm gonna take it. Yeah, so here you can also see with the waterfall, I say in quotes because it's really not a waterfall, every time I would move the terrain I would also have to replace the waterfall as well because it would move it. And so because of that, I don't think the waterfall is going to work out. If you have any suggestions as to how I could like save it or make it so that it's less glitchy, I would love that, because I would love to keep this waterfall here. I think it's super cool looking, and it gives the lake just like something, I don't know, something intriguing about it, but I just don't know realistically if it's going to kind of work. I only did a few of the rock and like lily pad patches, but I do think I kind of want to go and put a few more in because it's a pretty big lake, and the patches I did were pretty small and pretty concentrated near the waterfall. So I do think I'm going to have to add a little bit more there. And right next to this lake, so this area, I'm planning on making it a park for Paris to visit. I think I'm going to put like a lighthouse landmark, and I'll have a lighthouse and it'll be a museum, and then Paris can go and hang out by the lake. And so I'm really excited for when I do get around to building that portion of the island. I'm not sure really which lot I'm gonna kind of start on first in the next video, because as of like next video, that's when I should be ready to really start kind of building things and actually putting things on this island, which is exciting. I'm not really sure where I'm going to start with that yet, like I said, but yeah, we'll just kind of see what happens. Now you can see I'm placing those columns to support the bus stop phone booth area again. I don't think it's the last time in this video that I do this, like I said, because it was just super glitchy, but yeah, it's kind of a recurring thing. Another thing that I kind of noticed with the game is I went to go kind of play test to make sure that everything worked at some point, and I created a duplicate of this save file. And the reason I did that is because I didn't want to like mess anything up on this version of it. But when I went to go create a duplicate and I loaded into it, all of the streets and most of the landscaping I placed just disappeared, and I don't know why. And it's only when I have the duplicate saved, because when that first happened, it scared me a lot, and so I went back in, well, I quit the game, and then I went back into my like normal save, like the one I'm building in here, and everything was there and everything was fine. But it was only whenever I made the duplicate that all of the roads and most of my objects I placed disappeared, and I don't know why that's happening, but I wish it wouldn't. So, and it also kind of like makes me a little bit worried for how I'm going to eventually share this save file if I can't duplicate the save without having a bunch of objects delete themselves. So if through any like small chance like anyone on the Paralives team is watching this video, which I don't think is likely, but if anyone is, can you please look into that so that they don't delete and that I can have this save file? That would be awesome. So I'm gonna have to think of a better way to play test this, and that will probably involve me just messing around in the actual save itself. So hopefully that doesn't have any bad consequences. I guess I could always just go back and restore it to like a different or a previous save. I do save a backup of this save after every single time I play. So in theory, if something were to happen to it or it gets corrupted, I should have a previous version to revert back to, which is good. I also saw in the update that they added to the game today, you can pick like the most 3 recent like auto save backups of the game to kind of load into. So that's actually very useful, because sometimes I will do something in a build that I don't like, and instead of just deleting it and kind of figuring it out, I just kind of want to go back and start from scratch again. And so it would just be nice to be able to just quit the game and revert back to a previous version before I did all those changes. And it seems like that's now an option. Like I could go and I could choose out of like the most recent 3 autosaves which one I would want to go back to, which I think is awesome, and every game should have that. And that's a really cool feature that they added. So I'm very happy about that. So as I mentioned earlier, in one of these extended sidewalk sections, I ended up putting a bridge onto the beach itself, and I think this turned out pretty cool and I'm happy with it. But man, it was a process to get this bridge in place, and I think part of it was a little bit glitchy, but I think part of it was also just because I'm not the most familiar with Paralives build mode quite yet, and so I was still kind of working out the logistics of that. I ended up cutting out a few tries of this. I think I tried to do this like 4 times, and it was just really painful to watch back, and so I didn't want to subject you guys to that, and so I just included like I think like the most recent like 2 attempts I did, just to show that I did struggle with it, but not enough to where it was just not fun. And I think it turned out really cool. I kind of imagine that this is pretty similar to a lot of other beach town areas where there's a lot of like native beach plants that are along the beach, and they don't really want to disturb them, and so as a result they built this bridge here for people to conveniently cross over in order to get to the beach. And like I said, I like how it turned out, but one of the things I thought was a little annoying is that you can see I have the fence on the actual bridge portion itself, but then on the stairs, I couldn't change the style of the railing. And I don't think there's a way in the game to do this. I looked it up and I tried to do what I could, but unfortunately, I think the railing that is on the stairs is kind of just the railing that's on the stairs. And I think it would be really cool if there was a feature to go in and change that, because not all of the railings are going to fit exactly what I kind of need. And I needed a railing for this because if you look on the side of the stairs, it's closer to the beach, like that's a lot of stairs, and it would probably be a safety hazard if there wasn't a railing on there. So it had to be included, but it just doesn't really fit the style of what I was kind of going for and the style of fence that's like actually on the bridge. But I'm just going to choose to overlook it for this and hope that maybe one day I can go in and fix it. And you can also see right now I'm going in and I'm placing some bikes because I think it's cool to imagine that people are riding bikes around this town a lot too. It would make sense on an island town like this. And I'm hoping sometime in the future we do get functional bikes, because right now having your paras kind of walk everywhere is a big time consumer. And I know that you can use the bus stops, that's why I placed them in the world, so that way they can get to places faster. But it would be really cool to see them use a bike and to have them use that to travel around the open world. Kind of like how in The Sims 3 you could do that. I really like that idea of transportation. I know like in The Sims 4 there were bikes too, but I mean with an open world it was like kind of pointless at times. You know what I mean? Not that I'm like trying to compare this game to The Sims, because I'm not. It's a different game, and it's not like they're not really the same thing. But they are both life sim games, and so I think it's natural to kind of, use other video games in that genre as a frame of reference. And that is about all I did for this video with the city planning and the landscaping. So if you liked what you saw and you want to follow and see me keep continuing to work on this island, feel free to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and comment what you'd like to see next, what lot you kind of want to see me build first. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everybody.